right, everybody. My next guest tonight is, of course, a legendary comedian and author. His last book, Brain Droppings, sold 750,000 copies and was on the New York Times bestseller list for 40 weeks. Now he has a brand new book out entitled Napalm and Silly Putty. Please welcome George Carlin. How you doing?
Running all around. I'm okay. I'm getting that vaginal dryness now. I'm 63.
I do not want to know about your vaginal dryness.
For some reason, lactating. I think my eggs have changed.
Yeah.
But
it's
I'm
tough.
pretty,
Your
I'm
biological
pretty
clock.
good.
It's a tricky
That's
thing.
What it is. And I'm running all over the city, you know, hawking this book. But it's fun. It's, you know, I feel good.
Well, you must be happy to be here. You're from here.
Oh, yeah.
You're from, you were
boy.
Born and raised in Harlem.
Upper West Side. Well, we call, you know, it was what you might call Black Harlem was right adjacent to our neighborhood. We call our neighborhood White Harlem because it sounded tough.
Right.
You know, to other guys from the city, you go to a party, and the guys would say, "Where are you from?" The real name of the neighborhood was Morningside Heights. You know,
which doesn't sound very. But you better not mess with me because I'm from Morningside.
Where are you from? You know, and I would say White Harlem. And they said, "Oh, okay, all right."
They'd leave you alone.
A little respect, yeah.
Did you enjoy growing up there? Was it a happy childhood?
Yeah. Well, I was a loner. I was kind of a strange kid, you know. I was offbeat. I'd listen to a solar eclipse on the radio. You know, they'd catch me doing that.
Describe it for you nicely.
Oh, yeah. The circus on the radio. You know how your father would throw you up in the air and catch you?
Right.
Mine would walk away. And after a while, it damages you. I kind of became a loner, you know. Just wanted to be alone. Didn't have any friends. Not really. I had an imaginary friend, but I didn't bother with him.
That is cold.
Let him find some friends of his own. I have no time for people like that.
You would ice your imaginary friend. That's pretty rough.
That's it. And it was a good enough childhood. You know, when you're a loner, it's kind of tough. There are games tag is difficult when you're a kid.
Right.
Because you're always it, and you're trying to avoid being tagged. You're constantly in motion. Instead of hide and seek, I would have to play hide. And one time, I remained hidden for over a month until I realized no one was looking for me.
Do you like coming back here? I mean, is it nice to come back to New York?
I love it.
If those things are, it's not traumatic at all?
No. And I like the city, and I like the things that are unique to the city. Rudy Giuliani is interesting. Seems like the only man whose skull is on the outside of his head. Have you noticed that he has an exoskeleton if you look closely at him? And
he's airing it out. Yeah.
And I enjoy the homeless people. There aren't as many as there were. They put them somewhere, but there are offbeat, strange, and true stories. Things that are true. They're only funny if you accept them as true.
Right.
But I saw a guy standing in front of Saks Fifth Avenue screaming at a mannequin in the window, screaming, "If I had a wife like that, I would be fine." And just screaming it over and over. And those are the wonderful moments. I gave a guy $20 and he said, "Don't forget to see Chevy Chase in Vacation." You know,
seriously?
Yeah, out of the blue.
A random homeless guy is hawking a movie.
And an old one at that, you know. There was a woman, it was around Christmas time, and the woman asked me for some money, and I was putting things in the trunk of my car, and I said, "Okay, just give me a second, and I'll give you something," you know. So I'm trying to pass the time a little, and I said to her, "Where you from?" You know, and she says, "Missouri." And I said, "Oh, what part?" She says, "Wichita." And I said, "Wichita's in Kansas." And she went, "Oh." I said, don't worry, I'm going to give you some money anyway. In fact, you're going to get a bonus for that answer. You know? Another guy with a doctor.
Right. No, you thought for creativity you should get more.
So,
now, you've always been fascinated. You hear it a lot in your writing and your albums. You've always been fascinated with language.
Yeah,
you're obsessed with language. And you get irritated when you feel like it's being used incorrectly.
Well, it's partly that incorrectly, and partly it's just the kind of lingo that has crept in, politically correct and new age and support group language. This word issues, no one has problems anymore. They're always issues.
Right.
No one has a drug problem. He has a chemical dependency issue.
Right.
That dog that killed the person in San Francisco.
Attacked the woman,
yes, a week after it, they were interviewing a neighbor, and he said, well, everybody in the neighborhood knew that dog had issues with other male dogs. It's kind of creepy.
You know, I was flipping through your book, and you had a really great story in here, a great section on driving.
Oh,
and there was a nice little story about running lights that I really love.
Well, yeah, someone told me this a long time ago, and I assume it's public domain, so I put it in there. I guess I'll find out. This guy's driving, and he's sitting with his friend is in the passenger seat, and he's driving, and he goes right through a red light. And the guy says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Never mind, we relax." He says, "My brother drives like this." He goes a little further, and he goes right through another red light. The guy says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Never mind, I told you my brother drives like this." He came to a green light, and he stopped. The guy says, "What are you doing?" He says, "My brother might be coming the other way."
I love that joke. I love that.
Yeah.
The book is Napalm and Silly Putty. Go out, buy this book. George Carlin,
thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks
making
a lot.
time for us. That was great. George Carlin, everybody. We'll be right back. Shuggy Otis is here.